My name is Caitlin Green. Increasing the minimum wage will cause more problems. Money is very important. We all want it. We want to make more of it. We idolize money and think that we have to have more of it and everything will be better. However, raising the minimum wage is not the way to go. I believe the minimum wage does not need to be increased. We are all at the age where we can get jobs. For young adults, if the minimum wage is increased, it'll be harder to find jobs. Raising the minimum wage will cause less jobs for young people, cause small businesses to close, and consumer prices will go up. Household costs, higher housing costs, and there may even be an increase in poverty. So to begin, for the facts of what is the minimum wage, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. And states are able to increase their minimum wage if they choose to. There are 20 states that are trying to increase their minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2024. As you can see on the graph, there are many blue states that, and I'm pretty sure most of those are the ones that are trying to increase to the $15 an hour minimum wage. Though how they are going to increase their minimum wage is by small increments over the years to hopefully reach the $15 by 2024. As you can see, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and South Carolina and Tennessee all are blank because they do not have minimum wage laws in that state, in their states. But every other state does. They are the only states that don't. And so raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour will only cause more problems. And the first thing is that it will make small businesses struggle. Small businesses will not be able to pay their employees. So if they are unable to pay them, they might have to take leave, or they might have to fire them because they are not able to pay them. Next, they will struggle to stay open and pay their bills because they're not going to be able to pay for the employers, and then when they lose employers, they're not going to be able to have as much work done, and so they will not be able to produce more, and so they will then be losing business. They will also have to raise prices, and so they might lose profits from having to raise and then pay more, and so then consumers might not want to pay that. And then there also might be a hiring freeze, which will also affect the young adults, because a hiring freeze is where businesses stop hiring people because they cannot afford to pay them. And so the businesses, they will want more skilled workers, and so it'll be harder for people coming straight out of college, even high schoolers, to find jobs. That is why it will be much harder for them. And so, and the minimum wage, the younger people are only working part-time, and so they think they're gonna have extra spending money, but as the inflation happens and prices will most likely go up, they will not be able to have that extra spending money. They will still be using it to pay for the normal things, and in reality, it will mostly be helping the older people. Average age is like 36, 40 or older. Most of them are full-time workers, and so just going on like that. So small businesses will still have a hard time staying in business, and it will leave less job opportunities for young adults, and other issues that are going to be caused is it might higher prices such as inflation and more poverty maybe. Um, so more problems. So all consumer products will go up. That is inflation. So housing costs will rise as well. The price to live, and so that is the main problem. People are not able to afford to live in, to afford even a one-bedroom apartment, and for people that are single or like only one parent households struggle to provide for their family. And so even with increasing their pay, it will still, the housing cost will go up and they will still struggle to pay that. And so also poverty is these people will also lose, since they're making more money, they will also lose the government help that they would be receiving when they're not making as much. But then when they start making more, they don't qualify for the government help. So then they are still not getting that money that they need and that they have calculated into what they are making. And so it does not help, and so they are still not making enough. And then according to the United States Census Bureau, in 2019 there were 34 million people were in poverty. And in an article from the Business Insider by Joseph Zabalos Rogue states that a government report found that if the United States raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, it would eliminate 1.3 million jobs, but also lift 1.3 million Americans out of poverty. And so that will just cause more issues because many people will be losing jobs, and so they will not have the money to continue paying and helping their families. And so they are losing their job because that is a lot. That will bring more people into poverty when they're taking those jobs away, but it will also lift 1.3 million Americans out of poverty. But there's also so many people in poverty that you're only helping a small amount. And so we need to fix different things, because only changing the minimum wage, thinking it'll help, it really won't, because if it's only helping 1.3 million Americans come out of poverty, that is not enough to the 34 million people that were in poverty. So I don't believe the minimum wage is high enough. And so raising the minimum wage sounds like a good idea, but really it will just cause more issues. And so small businesses will struggle, teenagers and young adults will have a hard time finding jobs, and most importantly, raising the minimum wage will just cause more problems, such as maybe increasing poverty, inflation, and higher housing costs. Raising the minimum wage is overall not a good idea for me and my belief. So raising the minimum wage will cause more problems instead of fixing them. The government needs to change their program so then these people can still receive help, and like change maybe the housing part, change where the housing cost stays down, and so they can help more families. As a college student, we don't have a lot of money in our bank accounts already, and rising prices will only put us in even more debt. So inflation and a higher minimum wage will not help. Thank you.